Hey everyone, Cody from Mactelecom Networks. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at another new piece of hardware from Ubiquiti. We did just get the next generation of their firewall, the UDM Beast, and now this time we're going to get the next generation of the NVR, the UNVR G2 and G2 Pro. The NVR has been completely redesigned. You can tell by the front of the drive bays. It does feature a viewport directly built in, and there are a bunch more capabilities that we'll talk about in this video. But first, let's take a closer look at the UNVR G2 Pro. And this is the brand new NVR G2 Pro. You may not be able to see this, but they do have branding right on the front. The first thing that you notice is that this is a different design. We have these rounded edges, and there is ventilation holes right at the top. They've also redesigned the hard drive bays. There are different numberings on these. I will get a close-up so that you can see this, but it will be 1 and 5. We could see 2 and 6, 3 and 7, and then 4 and 8 at the end. So there is two different models of the new G2. There is the NVR G2 Pro, which has 8 bays, and then there's just the standard NVR G2, which has our 4 bay. You may not be able to hear this, but the clicking noise that it actually makes when you pop out the drive bays is really satisfying, and it's really easy to actually do. They don't have the stickers over the drive bays anymore, so all you need to do is click on the side and then pull the drive bay out and then insert it. On the back of the NVR, we have our power supply. So this is going to be a locking power supply, which will come with that braided cabling, and we have 2 fans. So with the NVR Instant Kit, they started integrating the viewport, which is really just an HDMI out, and they put it on both of the new G2 NVRs, which I love to see. So that will be to display it on a TV or a monitor so we can see all of our cameras. Then we have a 10 gigabit SFP Plus connection. We have a 2.5 Ethernet connection. And then we have our RPS port, which is meant for redundant power. You need the RPS for this. What you're seeing here is everything that comes in the box with the new NVR. So we have rack rails, which is a new addition. The reason for this, even though the rack ears could probably hold the chassis up, once we put the hard drives in, this is going to get pretty heavy. They've also re-engineered these rack ears. They do have rounded edges on them, because this NVR does have rounded edges. It also comes with the braided cable, which we can lock it into the power supply. Now, as for pricing, this unit is $999 USD. If you're going to be getting the 4 bay, the UNVR G2, it is $699 USD. And if you are buying it, I do have an affiliate link down in the description below. Now let's go ahead. We're going to get the rack ears on, and then we're going to get this mounted into my rack. I pre-installed the rack rails in the rack, and yes, the power cabling is a mess. I will get to that with a little bit of Velcro. Then I slide the new NVR G2 in place. I'm using rack studs to hold it down, and we are only using 4 hard drives. If you know, hard drives are very expensive right now, and we're using 8 terabyte Western Digital. We're now going to quickly compare the Generation 1 UNVRs compared to the Generation 2. The first thing that we'll be looking at is managed cameras. So for the UNVR, we had 60 HD 32K and 18 4K. For the UNVR G2, we had 50 HD 35 2K and 25 4K. For the UNVR Pro, we had 70 HD cameras, 35 2K and 24 4K. And for the UNVR G2 Pro, we had 100 HD 72K and 54K, so that is pretty much double. For the managed access hubs that we could have on these, for the Generation 1, we could have 150, and for the Generation 2, we could have 150 plus. Now we have our network interfaces, and there really is only one difference with this. The Generation 1 had a 10 gigabit SFP Plus and 1 gigabit RJ45. Generation 2 has that 10 gigabit SFP Plus and a 2.5 gigabit per second Ethernet interface. For the memory on the UNVR, we have 4 gig. On the UNVR G2, we have 8 gig. For the UNVR Pro, we have 8 gig. And then for the UNVR G2 Pro, we have 16 gig. Now I need to get this set up through the initial wizard. Now that we've seen the specs in comparison between the UNVR Pro and the new UNVR G2 Pro, we need to go ahead and get the new one set up. So what I'm going to do, I'm on my Mactelecom Beast or my UDM Beast right now. I'm going to take a backup of my UniFi Protect setup. We're going to go over to the settings wheel, and then we're going to click over on control plane. We could either download this or we could back it up to the cloud. I'm just going to back it up to the cloud. We're going to go over to the IP for my new UNVR G2 and get it set up. So let's press enter. And you can see this is the initial setup wizard. It's showing us on screen what we need to do. So UniFi Network Video Recorder Gen 2 Pro setup. We're going to go ahead and we're going to restore from a backup. If you're not restoring from a backup, you could name it whatever you want and then press next. Since I pushed the backup to the cloud, I need to sign in to my Ubiquiti single sign-on. The next thing that we need to do is restore from backup, and you can see the UniFi console that I've selected is the Mactelecom Beast, and the backup file is from this morning. We could either restore all applications and settings, or we could deselect this, and we could say, do we want all of Protect and Access? I'm going to leave this restore all applications and settings and press next. With the UNVR G2 Pro now set up, what are some of the differences with this unit? The first one we'll talk about is the viewport, and you can see I have it here and it is displaying my default view. You can change this view if you'd like, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. We're going to go over to our devices. I'm going to click on the NVR and go over to the settings wheel. From the settings wheel, we have this multi-view. Display multiple live camera feeds on a connected monitor for real-time viewing. So this drop down here, if you had multiple different views that you'd want to see, you could select whichever one you want to be playing on that monitor. I'm really glad that they started building this in. It has been a feature that's been missing. Now you don't need to buy a separate viewport. Next up is going to be the natural language search, and this is going to be done or found under the Find Anything, and I've already done a couple of these. So we'll click down and then we'll click on what I typed in, which was riding a bike. Once it pops up, you can see that there's 4 or 5 different detections of somebody riding a bike. Let's go ahead and we'll look at one that says black shirt. So showing this, it should pop me up, which it does with the black shirt, also with the guy on the bike and a couple other people walking down my street. We do also have all this stuff over on the left-hand side, so we could do our smart detections, which we've always been able to do, but then we could do audio and we could do person attributes. So were they wearing a backpack? Do they have a hat? Do they have a mask? What color shirt for their upper? And then we could also do a vehicle, or we could also check out the vehicle brand. So we have Audi, we have Cadillac, and a whole bunch more. The other thing that we could do, we could actually upload an image. So let's go ahead, we'll click this, and I'll upload an image of myself. With that uploaded, it's actually going to do a search, and based off that, it's going to pop up myself, hopefully, or there are a couple other people who somewhat look at me. We do have this confidence threshold, so we could set this even higher. It's at 67%, and we could keep going up from there. If we go all the way up to 77, you could see that there's only 4 different ones that picked up. This next feature is probably the coolest one to me anyways, which is re-ID or re-identification. So let's go ahead, we'll click on a thumbnail of myself. Once I start walking in here, I'm going to end up pausing it, and it's going to scan the objects which are in the frame. It should outline my body. You can see that it's outlined me and highlighted me, and when I click on this, it's going to bring up every clip that I'm shown in or every frame. So let's go ahead and click on it, and you could see that there was 11 different re-ID results. So scrolling down, you could see the different clips. We could be more precise, which will show us less, or we could be more broad, which is obviously going to show us more. So there's 22 in there. Some of them may not be me. I honestly just plugged this in a few hours ago, so there's not a whole ton of footage on here as I'm using brand new hard drives, but so far the re-ID has been working fairly well. And that's going to be my quick overview of the new UNVR G2 Pro, and I really like the redesign and the redesigned drive base. Once you click the drive bay button, you'll know exactly what I mean. The viewport is also a great new addition, so we don't need to buy any extra hardware. We also do get some AI functionality, so we get the natural language search, we get the object indexing in Find Anything, we get re-ID, and then we get search by image. Now what this isn't, and what you would still need an AI key for, is if you have a G4 or a G5 camera, and if you want to have facial recognition and license plate recognition on those cameras, you would need that AI key. If you have some older cameras like me, I still have some G3 cameras, and you wanted face or license plate recognition on those, you would need to get the AI port. At $999, I think this is a good deal for a brand new NVR. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about the UNVR G2 Pro. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. If you're new here, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. All right, thanks.